podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
We went over the last time how hard the national anthem is to sing. What's wrong with you?
I was doing it with vigor. You have to do it. You have to be very excited
That's a
about it.
$5 fine.
It was the 4th of July just yesterday. I know that pulls back the curtain for everybody who thinks that maybe this is a live podcast that you're listening on your iPhone or your Android device, but it is not the case. It was recorded before we released
Totally live. He's lying.
But it is something that we have tailored. Every piece of this show is edited into a tightly fine-tuned machine of a show. There's not a single live piece of this show at all.
A shit show. It's essentially the whole thing.
Every horrible joke, every space where we don't know how to reply to someone, all perfectly tailored because that's exactly how we want you to feel.
Or it would be if you paid me!
It's also because we don't pay Adam. That's also the problem.
Adam, he's a liar. He gets all the proceeds from the show.
So, unfortunately, instead of a very well-tailored, beautifully produced show, you're going to get that's going to be replaced with two ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating morons ranting about opinions that they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. Our goal is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture.
Da-da-da.
And fireworks.
Nope.
Well, as impossible as that may seem. So, listeners, now that you know why you're here, I'm Keith, and across from me is my co-host, Victor. Victor, why the hell are you here this week?
Oh my God, Keith, I'm so excited.
Why are you excited?
I'm so super pumped.
Why?
You should be excited too.
I am. I'm so excited right now.
I'm moving in with you, Keith.
Why?
Because I don't like driving all the way out here. The traffic is terrible, so I'm just moving in, dog.
No, I don't want you here.
We gonna be roomies.
I don't want that at all.
Yeah, girl.
This is like house rape.
Oh my God. What? No. Okay, now it's weird.
We didn't
on.
consent to you moving in.
But on Wednesdays, we can wear pink.
Oh, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
That sounds
settled.
That's so great.
So now that you know about your fancy, beautiful new roommate.
And our negligees.
Girl, why are you here?
I am here because just yesterday we celebrated our independence by having illegal fireworks. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand how we have a tradition of having to usurp authority.
Right, but we get them anyway, because we will not go quietly into the night, and we don't vanish without a fight.
Yeah. What other lyrics
I
do you know?
forgot the rest of the speech.
Oh.
That's a lie. I got it all memorized, but I'm not going to waste everybody's time.
Yeah, you are. For another, I don't know, 57 minutes. I think it's such a fascinating thing that we actually have we have a celebration of our independence with police officers going, I need you to stop doing that. Because it's illegal. Are you doing math? Is that?
Yeah, I'm trying to count if it's actually 57 minutes. I haven't been listening to you for a while now.
You do know that visual gags don't work on podcasts.
I was counting on it. I don't want people seeing me counting on my fingers.
You're an actual school teacher, for God's sake.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, never mind. That's a different person named Victor that comes to my house and wears pink. So I think that this is fascinating. That we actually have more visual gags? Is this visual gag week, Victor?
I'm not wearing pink. I just searched, but I don't have any pink on me.
It's theater of the mind, goddammit.
Wait a minute. Boom! Hair tie. The hair tie is pink.
Oh, you know how to ruin a man's life. You know that? First you're
We're gonna have
in.
so much fun together.
Yeah, we need to do videos.
We can stay up late into the night
and do visual gags on podcasts.
Yeah.
This is
But
fantastic.
without further ado, let's introduce our guest.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
I didn't even get through my part. All right, you know what? To hell with it.
I'm sorry, were you here today for a reason?
No, I'm not. I don't even care. I have no reasons at all. It doesn't matter. In studio this week, we have the incredibly talented Rhett Repko and often used Scrabble word Rhett Repko here to tell us about Rhett Repko, the band that features Rhett Repko. How's it going?
It's great.
Wait, what's the name of the band?
It's Rhett Repko. In case you didn't catch that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Just keep asking until you get it.
Who's the lead singer of that band?
That would be me, yeah.
And who are you?
I believe his name is Rhett Repko.
And who is this lovely lady next to you?
That is Jasmine. I learned this already.
She's not next to you, jackass. I wasn't talking to you.
I'm working on it. I'm trying. I'm moving over. I'm going to scoot over the entire show, inch by inch. They won't notice. Nope.
This is another visual gag. I'm just going to give you a dirty look. The whole time.
Some more visual gags. This is going to be such a great episode. Hey, everybody. Check out all the visual gags on our audio
Guess what I'm
podcast.
miming right now, right?
Yes. So, so Rhett Repko, you are the lead singer, I assume songwriter of the band named Rhett Repko. And then Jasmine.
Hello, yeah. Is best friend, emotional support, better looking one of the two, insert really all that applies.
All
so.
of that is true.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
Facts do not lie, so.
Yeah. So
Actually, nowadays they do.
So if I understand, you're here just to give us dirt on Rep.
Yeah.
Right? Rhett is going to, that's why.
Rhett.
Because Rhett. Yeah. Well, Rhett, his rep.
He's got a rep.
She's going to tell us about his rep.
Yeah, I actually do say that. I say Rhett Repko. I don't pronounce his name right.
That's good. So when I do it, I won't feel so bad. Rhett, we hear that you actually have a show coming up on Friday, July 14th. This is the AudioTeka Festival in Washington, D.C., just down in the Adams Morgan area of Washington, D.C.
We'll be going on around 10:30, I believe.
In the morning or the night?
At night.
Okay.
At night, yeah.
That's way better.
It is. It
Just
is.
Got
10
bands playing all night long, all the way till 10:30 in the morning.
So tired right now.
Oh, wait. Ranch Retro is on. Yes.
I would stay up for that. And we're going to be playing a track called She Loves Me. Was this from what album?
This is from our first EP that came out 2 months ago.
Okay.
Self-titled, Rhett Repko. It's on all streaming platforms.
Let me ask you what the most important question is that our listeners want to know anytime that somebody brings a track to us. And that is, has this track ever been played on a podcast before?
Actually, I don't believe it has.
World premiere right here.
We should have like a bell we can
2
ring.
in a row, people. Ding. Oh, we're on track right now. Look at that.
So what's it called?
It's called She Loves Me.
So she loves you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to be amused by that one for a while.
Oh yeah, we're going to be very entertained by all of our antics. So we're going to play actually a clip of that a little later in the show. If you want to hear the entire track right now, you can't hold back. You need to hear Rhett Repko. Fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this podcast and you can listen to the entire track of She Loves Me. You can also go to www.rhetrepco.com. For those that have pen and paper handy, you might want to write this down. It is R-H, you didn't see that coming, I know, R-H-E-T, one more T, R-E-P-K-O.
Yeah, Rock Repo. Let's do it.
Rip Rocco. We're going to say every other version of your name possible.
I'm like, how much more is there?
Oh, we got
challenge accepted.
We got another 50. Hold on, I got it.
It's
51 minutes.
It's 51, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to move on here, but we'll come back and talk a little bit more about your release and the music on it. But in the meantime, Hep Repko, we are going to do a little. What is it? No.
What's up?
We're gonna move into the weather report, which is
Petco. I don't know it now. I've totally lost it altogether. It just sounds like a collection of letters. I don't know what's happening. This is the weather report.
So we're gonna throw some news stories at you that happened more or less this past week, and you can decide whether or not it was actually newsworthy, or fake news, or dumb news, or something that really shouldn't have been wasting people's public time.
Or maybe we made it up.
It's quite possible.
There's always a chance.
This is called 6 real stories and 0 dumb ones.
Zero
Zero
made
fake
up
ones,
stories.
I mean.
But maybe. So I'll get started. Here's the headline that I'd like you to keep in mind when deciding if this is news. Each of these we're going to ask you if it's news. You have to use whatever reasoning you want, but I think this one you'll find very important. Vatican rocked due to police raid, which finds a drug-fueled gay orgy at Cardinal's apartment. How awesome is that?
That is a strong one to come in with.
I know. Now, years ago, the Vatican was plagued by controversy. There was gay priests, there was child molestation, corruption, greed, and then everybody magically went back to being perfectly respectable, and they were Catholics, and they didn't talk about it anymore. I mean, it probably still all happened, but they didn't talk about it, and then ta-da!
A gay drug religious orgy.
Yeah, the neighbors complained to the police based on irregular behavior of people coming and going from the apartment. The actual occupant of the apartment is a priest who serves as the secretary to a cardinal. The Pope is not amused, as you may have guessed. But apparently
He wasn't invited.
Yeah, the police came, there was drugs, and then they just found a bunch of dudes all doing dude stuff. And
8 guys, fucking 9 guys. What?
right, they were all doing things that the Bible doesn't describe in detail. Let's
not
put it that
against
way.
the rules explicitly.
What I think is great about this, right, is that on its own, this is pretty impressive. That, like, first of all, you're having a drug-fueled gay orgy that is, like, disturbing enough that the neighbors were like, what's happening over there? It sounds like they're punching dogs. And
What do you think a gay drug-fueled religious orgy actually sounds like? Hey, Adam, can you mute Keith's microphone for a minute here?
Why? Because it was too real? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, man.
It's not appropriate for the kids?
How
I
do
make
you
it-
know what that sounds like? Just real quick.
Well, just Saturdays. Don't judge me. I'm not Catholic. So
Maybe I won't move in after all.
but what I like is that somebody was like, hey guys, I really like the drug-fueled gay orgies. They're really fun. And I'm really enjoying myself, but I'd like to take it up a notch. Is there any way we could do it in a cardinal's apartment? Like it's like, can we go to the church and just do it in the confessional and that way take care of 2 things at one time?
How much more stereotypical can we make this?
Yeah, exactly. So we know that it's probably at least 10 Hail Marys, but the question is it news?
Oh, absolutely. I think the headline kind of sounds like a porno title itself, which means I think that's my criteria. If it sounds like a porno, it probably is news.
That's good criteria. How about you, Rhett? Do you have one?
I think it's news. It's potentially multiple headlines. So.
How do we attack it? Yeah.
Well, there was definitely, there was probably a headline in the room at the time.
Right, it could have been drug-fueled orgy, religious orgy, or gay
Adam got
orgy.
it.
Yeah, you just cut
Rhett
it off.
got
together?
Victor didn't get it. So we'll move on. And what do you have for us?
Mexican mayor marries crocodile to bring luck to local fishermen. An awe falls over the crowd. So,
Wait, one more time. Let's just start from the top.
Mexican mayor
Yeah, I got that.
marries crocodile to bring luck to local fishermen.
You lost me at crocodile.
Marries crocodile. Just a typical Mexican wedding, you know?
That seems like the wedding would have ended right at "You May Kiss the Bride."
Well, they got a custom wedding dress for this crocodile,
I
and
would
the veil actually goes over the snout and ties it shut so it doesn't fucking bite anybody. But they do a whole procession through town. They parade the crocodile around.
Yeah.
And what do you do for good luck? You marry a crocodile, or you throw it into an airplane turbine. I don't know.
We obviously are not very cultured. 'Cause usually we just cross our fingers.
San Pedro, Muela Victor. Oh shit, my name's in
There we
there.
go.
Aguilarand in town hall married Mary, the crocodile.
They didn't come up with a better name. They're like, "This is the crocodile you're marrying. What's her name?" Mary.
So
She was at the Vatican earlier.
just keeping with the ridiculousness.
The most
Is
embarrassing.
it news?
Yeah, the most embarrassing thing about that was the breast implants.
Oh, damn.
It's hard to do because the skin's thick, right?
Yeah.
So you have to really get in there.
Quite expensive.
Yeah,
Who's
but-
funding that? The mayor's office?
Whew, curves on that girl.
Yeah.
I tell
The
you,
curves.
She
The
has
tail.
has a tail that will not quit.
That's a lot of tail for that mayor.
What do you say, Rhett? Is it news?
I'm not convinced it is. I mean,
Oh.
maybe on like a clickbait social media
Yeah,
situation.
that's true.
I think that's where that belongs.
That's
yeah.
very valuable. Yeah, I would agree. How about you?
I was baited.
I'm a little offended this crocodile found a husband before I did, but I'm moving on with my life and moving to Mexico, apparently, ready to help some local fishermen.
Anyone need some help with fishing?
Anyone?
Yes?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you can add another adjective to the orgy that started off the weather report.
Right, exactly. Well, while that was happening in Mexico, which is known for its beaches, New Jersey, which is kind of known for its beaches, had its own piece of news. Chris Christie, who is the governor of New Jersey, was spotted on the beaches of New Jersey, which wouldn't be news on its own, except for the fact that it was during a budget crisis in which all of the beaches were closed because the state had no money. So Chris Christie was literally the only person on the beach.
Why did you? How does that help the budget crisis? Closing the beaches.
Because then you don't have to have lifeguards, I assume.
You don't have to have lifeguards anyway.
That's true. You could just have people eaten by sharks.
Lifeguards don't save people from sharks.
Do they?
They save people from drowning.
Well,
What's a lifeguard gonna do? Go out there,
Punch a
stab
shark.
themselves?
Yeah.
To bait the shark,
no, what they do is they marry an alligator.
and it's good luck.
Yeah, exactly. So, New Jersey government is in a shutdown because they can't seem to approve a budget. I think they've actually solved that now, but at the time, the much-aligned Governor Chris Christie decided to support his state by lounging on the beach in a closed public park. When asked about it, asked about his citizens being angry about his decision to bring up his family and group to the closed beach, or his family and friends to a closed beach, he said, "Well, I'm sorry that they're not the governor." He was at a press conference and one of a smart ass reporter was like, "Hey, did you get any sun today?" And he said, "Nope." And then his spokesperson, when the video came out that he was on a beach, said, "Yeah, he was wearing a hat."
Oh yeah, he had an umbrella and plenty of sunscreen.
Yeah, so no sun. He's fine. Don't worry about it.
So government privilege.
Yes. So it's a bit of a bastard thing to do, but is it news?
No, if you've seen a photo of this man, he looks like he does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So it's not really a surprise. And him not being in the sun, if he was shirtless, there's a lot of him. He was in the sun. That hat is not covering it all.
No, maybe
Not covering his lies. Not
maybe
maybe his
he-
giant neck. I
Yeah.
don't think so.
maybe he said he didn't get any sun because it just reflected off of him. His big white pasty
Him, his
belly.
privilege, it just reflected right off of it. So
He need a lot of sunscreen for those cojones that it takes to do that.
Yeah. How about you? What do you say?
I'm gonna agree with Jasmine on that.
No,
That's
all
a
right.
no. It's a hard
That's
no.
fair.
it's a hard no.
Ouch! Look at you falling behind, Keith.
I'm still
right.
ahead.
This is my favorite story we've ever done on this podcast.
Oh,
other
really?
than the hamster in the dress. Curious dog strolls onto stage and crashes an orchestra performance in the middle of the performance and gets bored, sits down, and yawns. Takes a nap.
And Jess is like, this is not a very good performance.
Right. Unconcerned about crashing the evening, the dog leisurely wandered onto the stage, had a curious look around, just as the band musicians worked their way up to the crescendo of that particular piece. So it's as loud and exciting as it gets.
The cannon's
And,
going off.
The audience starts to cheer. Clearly, this is supposed to be the peak of the show.
Right.
Several members of the orchestra appear to notice the pooch, but are determined to remain professional and continue to play. They lost their shit, though. The violinist started laughing when the dog looked around. Everyone's applauding. The music's as loud as possible. Sat down, laid down, yawned, and put his head down right next to the violinist. Who's the most boring one? That guy. Doze.
That's awesome. I'm just glad that it didn't poop, because that would have been a crescendo and it just circles and it's like
the smell is horrible, but I gotta keep taking these deep breaths for the instrument I'm playing.
right. You're just playing tuba and going, oh god, it's like mustard gas.
Somebody passes out. The composer slowly starts inching away from.
So it is adorable and it definitely made the production memorable, but is it news?
Yes, I will follow any dog to the end of the world. And I feel like at an orchestra, I would also be yawning, but would not have the bravery like this dog had to do it on stage, you know?
For the record.
He's not fake.
Yeah.
He's up front. He
Yeah.
doesn't like it. He's seen better
Yeah.
in his dog years.
Yeah, he's very critical.
Yeah. And that's just who I aim to be.
Is it also because this particular story, the headline of it, also could be a porno? Is that-
I mean, I'm not going to not say yes. You know what I mean?
All right.
I think we got a high five right now.
that.
This has to happen.
All right.
Porno high five?
Rhett, what do you say?
I think anything with a puppy is a headline, so I'm gonna say yes.
Cute.
Well, I wish
Victor
I'd known.
pulls ahead.
Yeah, I wish I'd known that going in. That would have been really useful information. But unfortunately, this one does not deal with a puppy. So you guys may have heard of the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. Do you know the Galaxy Note 7?
Sure.
If you've been at an airport or in a plane anytime recently, you're well aware of the problems where they were catching fire. Airlines prohibited any passengers or crew from bringing them onto the plane because even if it's off, it explodes a little.
Just a little.
yeah.
A tad.
Just in this vicinity of the phone is the explosion. So great news. They recalled them all. They put out a new version with a different battery that also caught fire. So then they recalled that. And now, good to know, the Galaxy Note 7 will not be put on the market ever again. Instead, what they've done is they've named it the Fan Edition. And you can now use all the repurposed parts from the Note 7 in the new Galaxy Note Fan Edition. I'm guessing it's the people who are fans of phones that catch fire. That's particularly it's people. It's not like people who are a fan of the phone. It's that if you have this phone, you might want to keep a fan around because it's going to catch fire and it's going to get
Fans
hot.
don't help fires, Keith.
Well, they do.
Somebody call Nokia.
What you're saying is depends on the goal.
Is it Nokia? No, Samsung. Somebody call Samsung.
Yes. So apparently there's a new battery. They claim that it's not going to explode. Granted, that's what they've done the last 2 times. So we're all holding our breaths and buttholes and praying that it does not go onto planes and destroy
You got to
people.
marry a crocodile.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. So we know that we're dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight, but is it news?
No, I feel like fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. 3rd time, I deserve to catch fire. So
Liar, pants on fire.
Take that physical and emotional burn, and I think just move on with your life. I don't think that's
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. How about you? What do you say, Rhett?
I'm gonna say yes. You know, I mean,
Ooh, split decision.
they're determined. They want to make this work, and they keep putting it out. And
Right.
I respect that. You know.
the commitment.
Yeah. Look
Well,
at you.
yeah.
Getting one from Rick Repko.
Just
Right.
pick anything with an R and just go with it. I don't
I'm just
know.
gonna call you R&R from now on.
That's
Yeah.
that
you got
works.
one from Rest and Recreation,
Yeah.
man.
Car Repo here knows what real news is. What I like is that they're persistent, right? Like, because Apple did this where they were like, no, we really think people would like smartphones. They just kind of kept at it until it got adopted. And the iPad, same thing. They were like, who's ever going to use an iPad? And they were like, no, trust us. And Samsung's like, a lot of people want a combination phone and lighter. And they just don't know it yet.
And it's big enough. It's like talking to a piece of toast. That thing is
Oh,
huge.
it's a 2-hander.
And
you
it's
know.
burnt. So it really is in all
Perfect.
ways.
Perfect.
All right.
Well, I think the last one of the day here. Save My Ink Forever, a new company/service, allows families to keep tattooed skin of loved ones after they die.
Does it have to be loved ones? Can you
I
just
think
run
it
up?
has to be family. You don't necessarily have to love them.
So you can't just run up during their life and go, mine. Like,
It's literally a shitty tattoo that says haters on it. Cut out. It's in a frame
yeah.
hung on the wall somewhere.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they decided that, lots of people leave behind keepsakes and stuff.
Sure.
And since tattoos are so individually and personalized and blah, blah, blah.
You remember
like,
a person sometimes by their tattoos.
right, that really unique heart and star and asterisk or whatever it is they
And the
get
Chinese
these days.
symbol that
Right.
means courage.
or,
We think. Or asshole who doesn't know
compound
Chinese.
noodles or
Yeah.
something. But you can say now they preserve and frame people's tattoos.
What they didn't mention in this particular story is they also make incredible coasters. So that's just another option.
One of a kind.
Yeah, if you don't want to frame
Yeah.
it
Perfect.
and you want to get some.
Perfect. I'm going to get a coaster
Mhm.
shaped tattoo now.
Right, exactly. Like, do you like this lampshade?
It
That is a large person.
Right. It used to be an entire sleeve.
This used to be Chris Christie's tummy. You can see through it because it's pasty and white. He didn't get any
Pre-sun.
sun.
Perfect for
Pre-sun.
lighting.
Yeah.
So what do you think? News?
Disturbing.
That's
Gross.
that's
I
true.
feel like I would never. I'd let that loved one go. But if I had like a boyfriend or something that had my name on it, then I would want it back. Just to be real petty, like an ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like you don't get to be buried with my name on you.
You could get
Move along. See you
could
in hell,
get
but
a
don't
little
take me
necklace.
with you.
Do
yeah.
you get to cut it yourself?
Is that a request? Can I put a request in for
Yeah,
that? Like an extra
right.
$10?
Guys, did take this
Yeah.
tattoo out of the
We thought they were going to cut the tattoo out, but now it's just weird watching this happen.
All right. It's not one piece anymore. You've just
Yeah.
turned it into kind of a meat pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep it actually. Now that I think about it.
Keep the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna bring out all the Dexters in the world. Just
That's
really
true.
ready to chop people up for love.
I
they
mean,
say.
we're one step away from like, I'm going to miss them so much. Can I
Yeah.
just have their face?
to wear as I sleep.
Yeah.
What do you
just-
think, Rhett?
It's a sleep mask that just goes over your eyes and it's
Very
their
hydrating.
eyes.
Wow. Wow.
Rhett, what do you say?
I think it's news, but that doesn't mean I like it.
It's bad news.
And that's the criteria.
So,
all right, so there it is.
That's our weather report.
that
What's
is-
the score? What's the score?
Victor wins by half a point.
Half a point? We didn't even have half points. You just made that up.
Half of our,
One guess spread across
Siamese
two
twin
people.
guests.
I hate you. God, you're making
can't
things
believe
up just to make me lose.
0.5 rounds up to 1.
Yeah, it does when there's a half point in the game and there isn't one. So I win because you're cheating and using
0.5.
Adam to do it. And I don't appreciate it. You lose a point for all the visual gags.
You know what? You know what? We're gonna be living together. I know where you sleep.
Yeah, next to you.
Yeah, you're gonna wake up with like a handful of shaving cream, and then I'm gonna like poke you in the face, and you know, right in your eye.
I'm going to wake up with a handful of your tattoo.
You better frame that shit.
You better respect
frame it. So that was our weather report.
Yeah,
If you are you shameless self-promotion time.
Oh.
If you like what you heard and you enjoyed it and you wish to put on to have us cover your own news story that you think is amazing.
Yeah, if you find ridiculous news out there, we would like you to actually reach out to us so we don't have to do as much work.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Feel free to hit us up on Facebook, Another Wasted Hour.
Or email us at contact@anotherwastedhour.com.
Nobody emails anymore, Keith.
Yeah, it's what the kids. We Snapchat us with a picture of your
Right.
face as
Make
a
us
cat.
your top friend on MySpace.
Yes.
Ooh.
And we will hopefully get to that crazy news too, especially if it helps me win. So, without further ado, speaking of people's whose tattoo I'd like to keep, Rhett Repko is in studio.
Hello. Hey.
Keith has X-ray vision.
Dibs on the second one.
Yeah, I can only see my X's.
Oh my
Uh-oh.
gosh.
Uh-oh.
We're just parsing out pieces of Rhett right now. I get a cheek.
Left or right?
Up or down? That's the question. You got to be more specific, my friend. That's the important one.
Sweet fancy Moses. This is getting weird.
So, my dear sweet rep, we have a show coming up on Friday, July 14th, the AudioTeka Festival in Washington, D.C. in Adams Morgan. Tell us a little bit about this. What is the AudioTeka Festival?
So it's a local festival with multiple bands. I believe there'd be about 30 bands playing.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and it's over 3 days. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be playing that on Friday night, 10:30.
Very nice.
I think there's also 3 stages.
10:30. That's pretty late. So are you guys like the featured
I
band
think
that
we
night?
might be the second to last headlining band for that stage, yeah.
So you
You're
guys got a pretty solid set there.
It
You're
looks
the
like
pre-headlining band. You're like the necklining band
The neckline band.
of the entire night.
The support system.
Yeah,
The support.
right.
You got to warm them up.
Right. The necklining band is connected to the headlining band.
Oh, I
And
get
it
that
lifts
now,
it
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the knee bone. So that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Do you know any of the other groups that are playing at the
I
festival?
do. There's a lot of bands I
Offhand?
don't know, but another band I know that I like a couple. I like the band Young Hands.
Okay.
I like the band The Raw.
We've
And then
had the Raw on, didn't
Yes,
we?
we have.
yeah.
We've had the Raw on. They were great. Yeah.
I've been friends with those guys for a while. So.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Yeah, you should tell all those bands about us.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
On stage, you'll be like, if you have an hour that you don't have anything to do with, we know where you can throw it away.
Don't we know some people for you?
So you have this new album that just came out just 2 months ago. What's the
Yep.
name of this EP?
It's a self-titled
He
EP.
said that already.
So it's Rhett Repko.
Listen.
Yeah.
So Rhett Repko, the EP by Rhett Repko, the band,
Exactly.
featuring Rhett Repko.
Mm-hmm.
I see a pattern.
There is. Yeah.
There's I'm not sure where this is going to head to. Out of curiosity, what was the name of the studio that you recorded it in?
So we recorded that actually at my school studio, UMBC.
Called Rhett Repko? Was it
I
Repko,
I can't say
Repko
that.
Room
no.
RR.
Studios
I can't.
at Repko College? Was it?
Majoring in Rhett Repko.
Yeah.
With a company nearby.
Very cool. So is this like
Rhett
kind of
Repko.
self-produced then? What you guys
Yes,
did?
I'm a producer myself.
Nice.
I graduated in audio production at UMBC.
So we have a track.
Oh my
called-
God, Adam, you are so fired.
Yeah. We have a new guy. We don't
You're
have to
so
pay.
fired.
No. So this is a track called "She Loves Me." The entire track's available at the end of this podcast. Fast forward to the 1 hour mark, you can hear the whole thing. But let's take a quick listen to a sample of the song, so you guys, so everybody listening can hear a little bit of what you sound like.
Yep.
So here it is. This is a song called "She Loves Me" by Rhett Repko.
She's a kind of lover, unlike any other. She's a girl that wants you, but she won't ever tell you. I'm just getting to know her, but every day we're closer. It's like a roller coaster that only goes upward. I just want her love, for me that's enough. But I need to know, I just want those words to spill out of her mouth.
You know what I like about this?
Huh.
It's got a real, like, it has a modern feel, but also has a real throwback kind of feel to it.
Exactly. That's what we were going for.
Yeah,
with
there's
the
a
CP.
retro piece to that. It doesn't sound like it was necessarily like written in like the 50s or 60s, but it has a real echo of that with
Yeah.
like how it's kind of put together and the production. And you said you did all that production yourself.
Yeah, that's correct.
And that's what you were going after.
Yeah.
How did
exactly.
you go after that sound? What was it that you really like focused on to try and pull that in?
There's actually a lot that goes into that planning of it, but the band, we tracked the band live, so that kind of helps with that feel.
Right. Oh, okay, cool.
And we overdubbed the vocals and the lead guitar, but the rest of the band, the bass, drums, and acoustic guitar, we tracked together live.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And then I used a bit of some retro production techniques, and I used some modern techniques as well.
Yeah.
And just kind of, I wanted it to be half organic, half modern and polished. So,
Yeah, it feels like there's like hints of kind of Beatles stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
Stuff kind of between now and the Beatles, and then a little bit of the feel of kind of modern as well. So it's a real interesting mix.
I
But
think
a whole
that's
lot of changes, which is, you know,
Yeah.
the song continually evolves. It's pretty awesome.
Well, that's the kind of retro feel, because like I think more modern music has gotten a little more
Repetitive.
formulaic.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But back then, if you listen to Beatles, if you listen to that kind of era, there was a lot of experimentation in terms of changes in sections, how things were produced, but also like time signatures and stops and transitions and stuff. And it sounds like you're really approaching a lot of those things. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Is that a song that you'll be playing Friday, July 14th?
Absolutely. We typically open the set with that song these
so
days. So
if people are there at 10:30,
oh yeah, and
then
they
they
will
can
be.
hear that.
Musicians, 10,
Oh, man.
40.
How many other songs are on the EP?
There's 6 songs total on the EP.
And
so,
are the others available up on rhetrepco.com?
there will be a link somewhere on Spotify to it.
Oh,
but
yeah, I was
they're-
going to ask.
They're everywhere on any streaming platform. So
Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you for sharing that
absolutely.
with us.
Yeah.
Now that you have taken a recording and pushed it back into history a little bit, we're going to go into a section that we like to call This Week in History.
Yes. bunch of stuff happened throughout history on this date, or around this date, within a few days. And at the end of the spiel, you guys can decide what the most important thing historically is for you. And to be honest, doesn't even have to be something on this list anymore, because somebody just made something up at the end.
We're
So,
not good with
whatever.
rules. That's the fact of the matter. Did you like that tune? We made that real retro as well. That was
I loved it.
Yeah, we produced that. Just to, I'm kind of a producer.
Keith just played that on the spot for you listeners out
Yeah,
there.
exactly. We're live here at Rhett Repko Studios.
At Rock Repo. All right.
Yeah.
So, starting not in year 80, but 80 years ago, I didn't feel like doing the math. Spam turns 80 today.
Oh, well, great.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not that
All of it.
particularly right. I'm saying it was all made.
Yeah.
Made 80 years ago.
Right
but
now, if you open up a can, that is 80-year-old spam that you're eating.
not that it's really that big of a deal, but I
No.
thought it'd be interesting to tell people what spam actually means.
I know.
Sizzle, pork, and is literally what it stands for.
No,
Is
it's
it?
That's why
not.
it's always all capitalized.
That is not true.
Yep.
No, it's just spiced ham.
Is it ham?
Sizzle, pork, and is literally what it stands for.
No,
Emphasis on the
it was spiced ham, spam. That's what it. I don't know where you got it from,
don't know
but
who
I'll
to
fight
believe.
you.
yeah, we'll fight tonight in bed.
Adam's telling us to move along here. So, anyway, in 1775, note the following year was the American Revolution. On this day in 1775, the Continental Congress adopts the Olive Branch Petition, which was basically a big apology to King George about just about all the nonsense that the colonies have been pulling, and an attempt to reconcile. Pretty much saying, it reads, Your Majesty's ministers, preserving in their measures and proceeding to open hostilities for enforcing them, have compelled us to arm in our own defense and have engaged in blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
So, like,
God, this is so boring.
yeah, like, let's hang out, but don't be a dick. That's what, so Congress,
Netflix and chill.
right.
That was the version of that.
Netflix and chill back in the day.
Yeah.
So what's up next, Keith?
So this is kind of interesting. As you know, we just celebrated the 4th of July. So our country was born 1776, right? They came together and actually we had announced our independence before that, but then we became a country 1776. 2 years later, first woman executed in the U.S. by American courts. It took us 2 years. I don't even know how long like the appeal process was. I'm guessing it was like the next day they were like, get in there. No, you can't. She conspired with her boyfriend and 2 others to kill her husband. How many people do you need to kill a husband, for fuck's sake? I mean,
I like that she conspired with her boyfriend. She couldn't just get a second cell phone.
and 2 other people. Like they couldn't have just cut the brakes on their carriage. So they killed him. They put the body in her well. Her name, by the way, is Bathsheba Spooner. I don't even know what kind of word that is.
Should have just gifted him a Note 7.
Bathsheba. That's her. I don't even know how do you say that? Bathsheba.
She sounds like a murderer.
Yeah. You're basically like one letter away from just like Bath, she bad. Like so she was about there.
Coincidentally, she is a member of Rhett Repko.
She is. She's the percussionist. She tried to get her execution stayed because she was pregnant with her boyfriend's child. Her request was denied. Autopsy showed that she was actually 5 months pregnant with a male fetus at the time of the execution, which means that the first execution of a baby happened just after the first execution of a woman.
Rude. I'm 5 months pregnant.
I know.
It's home, man.
So anyhow, that was the first capital case of a newly formed United States. So there we go. We started killing people early. What else we have? I don't know how to say this. It's in Siberia,
Tunguska.
Russia. So yeah, Tunguska.
Tunguska.
It's the Tunguska mystery. So here's the interesting thing. A 12.5 megaton explosion occurred in central Siberia in 1908. Nobody knows
And
why.
then they went, wasn't me.
Right. Nobody knows why. It was about 1,000 times the strength of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. It knocked people off their feet hundreds of miles away. Nobody knows why it happened. They believe that maybe it was an asteroid or a comet that burst in the sky because there's no like crater or anything. So there you go. Sometimes people just get knocked off their feet by 12
Aliens fucking with us.
Yeah,
There it
right.
is.
Boom.
What
Right.
was that?
Boom.
I got knocked on my ass, but
You
I
think
don't-
your fireworks are awesome? Watch this. Boom. Really illegal fireworks.
It was on July 4th.
Yeah. In 1916, Hetty Green dies. Everyone, I know you're very sad. Hetty Green, no.
Pour one out for him.
Yeah, that's
Hetty?
Her.
Hetty?
Henrietta.
Henrietta?
Yeah,
Classic.
Hetty. Yeah. American financial wizard and miser called the Witch of Wall Street, the world's greatest miser. She wore the same black dress for years, which ended up turning green and then brown.
Doesn't that start to smell?
I'm guessing she washed it, but it just started to wear pretty thin.
She probably just showered in it.
Yeah. She used old newspapers for lingerie instead of pink, a little black and white.
Red all over.
She lived in an unheated apartment. Estimates of her net worth ranged from 100 million to 200 million, which would be the equivalent of 2.2 billion to 4.4 billion in today's money.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah. No heat.
No heat.
That's the key.
How do you survive that far north? And you said New
You just
York?
bundle yourself up in money,
You
apparently.
just put on another dress
Right.
on top of your dress.
Yeah.
So, in 1946, the bikini was first presented in France.
Oh.
A Parisian woman was first to don it in public. And yes, I know you're wondering, but it didn't become itsy bitsy, teeny weeny, yellow or polka dotted until 1960. So it took a while to catch on. But until then, it was like, full one pieces, or there was a tiny little bit of midriff shown until World War II rolled around. We're like, we don't have anything. We don't have metal. We don't have rubber. We don't have cloth. We don't have so minimalist bathing suits. Now go solve the problem.
Interesting story. The bathing suit that was released just before that was called the Atom. It was a single piece that showed midriff, right?
The Atom? No
The
wonder
Atom.
it didn't have a front.
And then the bikini was named after the Bikini Atoll, which is where they tested one of the nuclear bombs, and their marketing was the bikini, the swimsuit that split the atom.
I
Fact.
see. I get it.
That's clever.
Ah, yes.
Interesting thing, none of the actual models at the fashion show would wear the bikini. They refused to. So the designer had to go and hire a 19-year-old nude dancer to model it. She was like, this is more than I usually wear. So.
Remarket it as the bikini.
All right. So this is very sad. Just take a moment, everybody. Deep breath, because I know this is gonna really
Jasmine,
hit
you're
home
gonna
for
feel
a
this
lot
one
of
real
us.
hard.
I'm already crying.
Yep.
American Horse Star, the smartest horse in the movies. He starred with Roy Rogers and Dale Evans in movies and TV. In 1965, Trigger died. Oh God, Trigger! Oh, you were the
feels.
best.
Breathe, Jasmine, breathe.
I don't know what life is without Trigger. You know?
Good news. After his death, he was stuffed and displayed in the Roy Rogers Museum.
Oh my god.
And I'll never have to know what life is without Trigger because he's with us forever.
Right. I assume he had tattoos. That was what happened.
Well, along the lines of the same, more or less the same thing. 1996, the first mammal ever was successfully cloned. What is it? When you ruin a movie
Elephant.
for somebody, what's it called?
Spoiler.
Spoiler! Spoiler alert, they stuffed her when she died. And she's in a museum.
Is it the Roy Rogers Museum?
One can only hope.
We find out the Roy Rogers Museum has nothing to do with Roy Rogers. It's just all stuffed animals.
Right, but we, this particular science experiment presents all of the cloning issues that we now considered today. Should we clone people? What are the possibilities with organ donating and donating and organ donning?
Yeah. Organ dociling.
Right, and coming up, cloning more it's a more efficient way to raise cattle. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So they were like, maybe not. We saw that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and it was a mess. So we've decided against it.
So I found out that also at the Roy Rogers Museum, upon her death, they will be stuffing Gwyneth Paltrow and putting her in there.
She will never die.
Yeah, because there's rumors that she might be trying to kill you. It's a really interesting news article.
No, we gotta move on. You're out of time.
Okay. Sorry. Well,
One more fun fact.
yeah. What?
They named the clone Dolly because she was cloned from a mammary cell of another sheep. So
Yes.
because of Dolly Parton's ample tracts of land, they decided
She's kind of a
to name
twin.
the
Is
sheep
that what
Dolly.
you're saying? One of the twins.
Yep.
All right. Well, moving on then. I wish I could share with you why Gwyneth Paltrow is possibly trying to kill you, but important things are afoot. We need to speak once again to the very talented Hip Repko. Hip replacement. No, I can't do it. I don't even know.
You're out.
Rico's Roughnecks. Rico's Roughnecks.
So Rhett Repko.
At RhettRepko.com.
At what age did you get that name?
How many seconds in?
Yeah.
I mean, we started playing as a band, a year ago. So,
Yeah. So then,
yeah.
before that, it was just Steve Mason. And then,
Exactly.
Yeah, and
We had to
then you're like-
reformat that a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Mom's pregnancy, she went to term and then added a couple of weeks. So, kid came out with some talent, probably a guitar in hand.
right. It was like, how can we promote this band? Oh, what if we could get my name in more crossword puzzles? That would be brilliant. You're never going to come back because you're going to be like, those guys are fucking dicks.
Right.
They just spent the
No, it's
whole
great.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like you
Hey,
guys.
we're rude.
This is awesome.
We
Thanks for having me.
We're just declare it now. We're rude.
Yeah.
So did Rocco's Modern Life really hit like a note with you? Was that real person? When that got canceled, did that hurt?
Yeah. All right. So we're here because you've got a show on Friday, July 14th at the AudioTeka Festival, along with our friends The Raw and many other bands who aren't as good. Let's be honest.
I'm not going to say that.
But I can.
No, we can, right?
Because I'm not in the band, so I can say that.
Jasmine, what would you say about the other bands?
I'd say who?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the Raw is great.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Good.
No, I've seen.
Yeah.
I think the first show I ever
Super
saw at Rhett,
fan.
they
But
were
all-
there too.
all
Raw
of the
Repco. That's what we're talking
28,
about.
28 other subpar bands, would you say? Is that what it is?
Beautiful in their own way.
28 other bands.
Yeah, that aren't going to make it.
You
But
said it's a 3-day festival.
It is a 3-day festival. Yep.
they're going to listen to this and be like, dicks.
We got to get on that show and
Yeah,
defend ourselves. That's
exactly.
exactly what we're gonna do.
Email us at contact@otherways.hour and you get your ass on this show and tell us how good you are. And we need pics or it didn't happen. So that's going to be Friday, July 14th in Washington, D.C., in Adams Morgan, that area, which I believe some people are calling Admo. Have you heard this?
I have not. No,
I haven't
no.
either. Apparently,
Let's kill it. I don't like it.
I'm not cool enough to call it Admo. And you can also find out about other shows coming up. You said there's a couple others. What else is happening in
Yeah,
July for
so
you?
July 16th, we'll be playing an art show at the Metropolitan in Annapolis.
Okay.
And then July 22nd, there's a big show in Annapolis at Union Jacks. It's Pasadena's last Annapolis show, and we'll be opening up for them.
Okay, great.
Yep.
So we'll have some announcements of this on our Facebook and Twitter feed, so check those out as the shows get closer. Also go to www.rhetrepko.com, REHETTREPKO.
Do you happen to be on
.com.
Instagram as well?
I am on Instagram. Yep.
Sweet.
On Instagram, it's 8 T's. In the middle, they're just T. And
TT.
check out more of his music on all streaming services and check out his tour dates again on rhetrepko.com. With that said, we'd like to learn a little about what it's like to be someone with a name that everybody makes fun of.
Because we are clearly the only people in the
Yeah.
universe.
So Jasmine, tell
Yeah.
us, what is it like being a character of Aladdin?
It's pretty good. It's actually it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
She's hot. She
Yeah.
has a pet tiger. She's literally a princess.
Right.
Here I am.
Right. And people
Update,
expect
yeah.
a lot of you.
Spoiler alert, not a princess.
What?
No tiger.
And you're hanging out with Raja Rico over here.
Right. It's very difficult.
Yeah, just waiting for someone on the magic carpet.
Difficult. Yeah.
Is that I can't even
It's
mix
different
them.
and difficult.
My
Both of
life?
them
now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my new Instagram bio.
All right, well let's make up. We'll just
Put
make
that
up
on my
new words.
headstone.
And so we'll come back, I guess, now to Rhett, since obviously you don't get the same kind of taunting and teasing that
So
Jasmine
blessed.
gets because
man.
of her name.
For reasons I deem obvious, you know?
You've been doing music for a while, I assume.
Yep, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you said you're a producer. So you spend time on stage, you spend time on the road, you spend time in rehearsals, you spend time in the studio. What we'd like to do is science shows us that a lot of our memories are attached to our specific senses. So we wanted to kind of go through some of the things that you've done throughout your career in music and see what the most memorable things are attached to each of those senses. So are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's start with the most prominent of all of our senses, the sense of sight. Did something amazing, horrifying, or particularly memorable happen on the road, in studio, during a show that you remember seeing?
There's a lot of things that happen with sight, but
Well, sure. Yeah. Well, you just have to have one. I mean, we
I'd
could just
say-
do the rest of the entire episode on sight if you want, but I figure one's probably good.
I feel like it's always fun, that when you're playing live, you know how you have the stage lights coming down on you, and
Yeah.
you can't see a thing at
No.
all. Like you're just blinded. So the last show not the last show, but a couple shows ago at the Metropolitan, I mean, there were heavy stage lights. I was moving around. I was sweating like a dog.
Mhm.
Everything, my monitor situation was just not ideal.
Did you get some sun?
Couldn't hear anything. I don't think I got sun, but I just remember the conditions that I was playing at front of house were pretty poor. But I went over to the right and I was hanging out with my lead guitarist and his solo.
Yeah.
Just checking in, seeing how it's going.
Sure, yeah.
I noticed like his lights are just like they're not in his eyes, but they're just hitting him ideally. He has his own AC coming in on him. Like I swear to God, there was a waiter offering him a beer. I was like, what the?
Somebody
bribed
massaging his
someone?
feet.
And then I go back to my side. I can't see anything. Like it's hot. I'm dying. Like what the hell is this? Like why am I not there?
I feel you there, man. I used to be a drummer, and I'd get we'd have the backdrop behind me, and all the lights would want to light it up. It would
Yeah.
go right past my face, right into my eyes.
So you're thinking like, can we switch real quick?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
let
I
me
was
just-
like, you go over here. Like,
Yeah.
oops, yeah.
I lead this band. I'm going to
Yeah.
be over here on the right hand side where nobody expects me.
The wind is blowing,
Yeah.
hair all up in the.
Yeah, he apparently bribed someone and got the
yeah.
good spot.
Slid someone a 20.
Now, when I heard you're going back to the Metropolitan, isn't that correct?
I am, yes.
Are you going to take that spot?
That's not a bad idea now I think about it. Yeah.
So you're over there this time.
We
You're-
charge for advice, by the way.
All right, that's very cool. So the time that you were on stage, you saw the silhouettes of everybody because of the lights in your eyes, and then found out that everybody else was more comfortable than you.
Yeah. It's fine how that is.
That's a good memory. So we'll move over to what I think is the easiest one for any musician, the sense of hearing. What auditory memory do you have, Rhett?
I'll tell you something from yesterday. We were setting up on the stage. We were setting up my drummer's kit and everything, and the sound guys were there.
Right,
and
July 4th show.
July 4th show.
And where
yeah.
were you on the 4th of July?
That was at the Sandlot in Baltimore.
Sandlot in
Yeah,
Baltimore.
great
Okay.
venue. And we were setting up, and everything was going smoothly. And then these two police officers walk over, and they're like, "Do you guys have a fire extinguisher?" And we're like,
That's
we're like,
ominous.
"Excuse me?" And he's like, "Do you not know what that is?" And we're like, "No, we absolutely do. I mean, what's the issue?" Is like, if you don't get a fire extinguisher with this stage, no bands play. And we're like, well, that's extreme as hell. Like,
Whoa.
That is
Like-
also not up to you. You're the band playing. You're
Yeah.
not like.
I'm like, who does that benefit? Because I don't think the venue would be happy. I don't think the bands would be happy.
No, it's
Yeah. I
a
don't
thing.
think
You
the
like
people would be
sprayed up
happy.
in the air
Yeah.
for show.
That might cause somebody to start a fire.
Yeah, exactly.
that-
So it's ironic, you see?
Right.
Yeah. But
We're shutting this whole place down. Light it on fire, everyone. So that didn't solve anything.
You should have told them we didn't start the fire. It was always burning.
Yes.
the world's been turning.
You are just pulling in everything from the
I
past
don't know what you're
musically.
talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
So yeah, that's great. So what ended up happening? Did you have a?
We told him that we'd figure it out and we'd find one, and he left. He walked away grabbing his belt. Like, I did good work here today.
Yeah.
And yeah.
See you later, rent-a-cop.
What you should have done is been like, you should have introduced him to like your guitarist. Like, this is Dan. He extinguishes fires.
He's cooler than the other side of the pillow, man. He ain't gonna start a fire.
I don't know if you did your research, but my bass guitarist, his name is Dan. So.
What? Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah.
You just go like, he'll smother it.
All right, fine. Now we're tied for the weather report. I'll accept that.
He knows how to stop, drop, and roll. It's fine. That dude is great at extinguishing fires, especially if they're on him. So we're good. Extinguisher is a very vague word if you think about it. Fire extinguisher, like we have some water. Like, that's technically.
I'll blow on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That doesn't put out fires. We've established.
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
We have a fan. It works on the Note 7.
The Note fan.
All right, so that's good. So hearing the police officers be very productive in that particular hour of their shift. Let's move on to, what would you like, Victor?
Let's go with the gustatory taste. The sense of the sense of gusto.
The taste
And by
of
that,
gusto.
I mean, what have you tasted? Maybe on the road, whatever. We had somebody who just always had fried chicken with them. So, anything that comes to mind, like band spaghetti, perhaps.
I can't remember anything in particular. I do remember before maybe my first show last year.
Yeah.
I was nervous as hell, and
Sure.
my friend, I think he pulled off a piece of a plant and he shoved it in my mouth. And he's like, "This will calm your nerves," and I don't think it did that, but
it confused you for a while.
yeah, I mean that.
It's like when you distract a baby that's crying.
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
like I guess it killed the nerves for a few minutes because that taste.
Right.
I couldn't get that out of my mouth. So
Yeah, I'm sure. Strychnine must also do that to you, I guess. That's did you know what kind of plant it was?
everything happened so fast. I just,
Did he know what type of plant it was? It was
Oh
just
God, I hope it was marijuana, because otherwise
just put this in your mouth. It'll be fine.
I'm so confused. Right. That's how that thing happened in the Pope over in the Vatican. It started that way.
Makes sense.
I'm
makes
nervous.
sense.
Here,
Yeah.
put this in your mouth and it'll help the nerves. Like,
Is that crystal meth? Nah, just eat it.
it's fine.
It's
You're
fine.
good.
That's how you do
It's
math,
not a
right?
penis. And so now you're gay. And that's how it happens.
It just happened once.
It's okay, then you're like one-time gay. You're like the scratchy lotto of gay. Just a one-time use of gay. All right, so how about we move from there to what they say is the most strongly connected sense to memory, which is your olfactory sense, or the sense of smell. Usually when you're touring with a bunch of guys, the sense of smell comes up quite a bit.
I got,
Just say it. Oh, this is good. There's a good one. I can tell. And you're like, I probably shouldn't say that about Dan.
I just remember we were in the green room at one of our shows, and we were hanging out. We were all having a good time.
Sure.
We played
Jasmine's
the set.
already giggling. This is gonna
we
be good.
felt great, and they're like, "Can we do anything in the green room?" And we were told that we could. And my boys asked if they could smoke anything, and I was like, "I don't think that's such a good idea, you know."
Right.
But they're like, "How about vape?" I'm like, "That seems like a fair compromise, you know."
Sure.
So we were
Right.
having a couple beers. They were vaping a little bit, and we're having a good time. All of a sudden, I go outside to peek my head outside the green room. I notice the fire alarm's going off.
What?
And I'm talking about the lights. I'm talking about the sound. And I peek my head again around another corner. I see the sound guy on stage, like looking around. He thinks it's the fog machine on stage, and he's like, "I don't understand, you know." I don't.
guys ruined everything.
So we go back in the green room. I'm like, everybody put that away. Like nobody put that. And like, what do you mean? Like we're just having
Open
a good time.
windows.
And I'm
You're
like,
No one
waving
breathe.
stuff out the
Stop
window.
breathing.
yeah, we're just like, put that away. Like hide that. And
Mom's
they're like,
coming. Open the
Yeah.
window.
And yeah. As soon as
Does
we get,
anyone have some dryer sheets?
as soon as the vapes get away, the venue comes in, and they're like, "Do you guys know about the fire alarm?" I'm like, "What? We never heard the fire alarm. It's not going on from here, you know." So
All right, well, that is it. That is what we have for this week. Thank you for coming out.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that you did not die from the fire that nearly consumed you. I hope you had a fire extinguisher.
The one you started.
Yes, this week, Wednesday, July 12th, the Yellow Tie Guy at Central Park in Washington, D.C. Thursday, July 13th, Box Air at Sully's in Washington, D.C. Chris Aaron at Oz Restaurant in Clarendon, Virginia, in Arlington. Saturday, the 15th, Roundabout at Rio Mall in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Sunday, July 16th, surprise attack at the Boomerang Pirate Ship in Washington, D.C. Obviously, Friday, July 14th, AudioTeka Festival. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Washington, D.C. Please like our posts, follow us, retweet us, share the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We can't do this without you. Thanks to Victor. Most of all, thanks to Rhett Repko for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been another wasted hour, and if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.
Unlike any other, she's a girl that wants you, but she won't ever tell you. I'm just getting to know her, but every day we're closer. It's like a roller coaster that only goes upward. I just want her love, for me that's enough, but I need to know. I just want those words to spill out of her mouth. She loves me, she wants me, she haunts me, she loves me. If I'm not around her, it's as if time stopped. When holding hands together, we're moving through the clock. Even though it's better, every day gets faster. Everyone says ask her, then I'll have an answer. Cause I just want her love, for me that's enough, but I need to know. I just want everyone around me to know. She loves me, she wants me, she haunts me, she loves me. Me all I've waited for, all within a whisper. My heart's beating so fast I don't know if I'll last. I'll be coming back for more, and I know that's for sure. Flying off my feet, I'm happy as can be. Cause I just want her love, for me that's enough. And now I know, I'm just so happy now that I know that